Don't you hate it when your global chat looks like this? I know it kind of bothers me a lot when this happens, so let's go ahead and fix this real fast. Hey everyone, TheGamingChief here. Today we're going to be going over the Reporter mod, which is just a small tiny little add-on that you can add to your DayZ server, which allows people to go ahead and report others in game, and then you'll get Discord notifications so you can immediately see whenever someone's being reported without your global chat being spammed with people, accusating and all that. So when it's all said and done, when a report comes in, it'll look a little like this right here, to where it has, some report information, and you can use that in your Discord server in order to kind of better moderate and not to have a complete cluster going on in your global chat. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have the workshop page here. It tells you a little bit about it. There's not a whole lot. There's a little bit of configuration, and it's really fast to set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remote into our server here. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the overview on my server that we'll be using, the video series. You don't have to use Omega Manager, I just am. Just go ahead and download the add-on and get it moved over. We're going to go over to mod configuration. And we're just going to go ahead and add this in. So we're going to search for a reporter. It's going to be that first one that comes up with 72,000 subscriptions on the workshop. We'll go ahead and add that. And we'll go ahead and hit save changes. And we'll go back to our dashboard here. And then we're going to go ahead and shut the server down. And then if you see a button here that says install untracked add-ons, go and click that. Since I've added it to the dev server here, it's going to go ahead and not need that, but just make sure you click that if it's there. And now that's off, I'm going to go ahead and power that on real fast. And once that's on, it should create a config file for us, so let's see if that's been done. So we're going to go into servers, server 0 is the one we use. We're going to go into our profiles folder. And it looks like it hasn't been quite created. Oh, nope, there it goes right there. So we'll go into here. And then you have an icon file, and then you have a configuration file, and this has some stuff we can edit. I'm going to go ahead and open this in my preferred text editor just because it's easier to read, so let me go find that real fast. Alrighty, and then there's just some different things that you can kind of get going here. So we'll cover the webhook in just a moment. That's how it actually gets over to Discord. So here's your general report information. You can actually change this text. If we go out of here, this is up here, report information. Why are you reporting this player? Both of those can be changed here. There's subject and some optional information, cancel and file. So you can change this if you need to change the language or just the wording. And then also it gives you the thing along, reporter has, received your report and all that. It does come with a little image here, which you can swap out. So if we look here, this is what will show up in the Discord as the icon. And you can swap that out to something else. And then also here's just kind of the format. You can change this around if you really want to, but I think the default one works perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and get this webhook set up. So I have my Discord pulled up over here. I have a test channel, as you can see here. We've been doing a little bit of this yesterday as well. And what we can do is we'll go onto your server name. We're going to go to server settings. And then we're going to go ahead and go on over to the integrations. And then we're going to create a webhook. And then I'm just going to call this DayZ Reporter. And then you just want to specify which channel you want it to be able to post in. So I'm going to put this in the test channel. Only myself can see that, so you don't want everyone on your server being able to see it. So just make sure it's a private channel or a staff channel or something like that. And there's a little description here saying no webhooks are a simple way to post messages from other apps and websites into Discord. And there's some information if you want to learn how it actually works. In that case, I kind of understand and it's not too relevant here. So we're going to go ahead and copy our webhook. We'll save that. And then I'm just going to move that back out of the way. And then what we can do here is we're going to paste that in there. So I'm going to go in the middle of these brackets here, press space, and then I'm going to use a quotation mark here, paste that in there. And then this is going to be our webhook URL. Obviously, you don't want to share this with people. I'm going to revoke this once I'm done here, so you're not going to be able to send messages through it. And then you don't need to do anything else here. You just need to have the quote start, quote end, this go down here. This looks perfectly fine. There is a example provided right here in the mod description as well. And then this is all good to go. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And then what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and restart the server real fast and verify that it's working correctly. And we are in our server here, and I have my friend here to go ahead and help us test. And what we can essentially do here is by pressing F1, you can report the player that you're currently looking at. You do need to be kind of close to them, so I'm just going to go ahead and walk up to them. Press F1, it's going to go ahead and let us do the report. I'm going to put like toxic or something like that. I'm going to say he's toxic and void, breaking void rules, something like that. Just because that kind of makes sense why you'd be doing this when you're not in a firefight or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and file that, and it's going to receive it. So that kind of works. You have to be fairly close to people though, but also I'm going to have him kill me right now here, and we'll go ahead and see what it looks like once that happens. And then when you die and you pull up the escape menu to respawn, you'll see that there's now a report player option here. And it's the same thing, and I'm just going to put something about cheating or something like that, just as an example. So I put cheating ESP, wall hacks, something along those lines. So shooting at walls, general cheating scum. I'm going to go ahead and send that. Server receives the report, and I can now respawn, and that option is now gone. And that's just kind of the simple way of how that works. And as another demonstration, I'm just going to go and set my health kind of low here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off to demonstrate something you may end up seeing in your logs that can be confusing. So when you die like this, you can actually report yourself. It's usually pretty good, but in some cases it'll still let you. So I'm just going to put cheater, sure. And we'll go ahead and file that. So it received it. And let's go ahead and have a look and see what we kind of got now. All right. And looking into Discord, we can kind of see what we got going here. So initially what we did was for the toxic one, you can see, I reported this case Connors and then the additional information, and you can always, react to these messages to kind of say, oh, I dealt with this one, dealt with this one, not true, something, who knows. You can figure out your own system, of course. It gives the Steam 64 ID, and we can actually copy this link that it gives us. And it just takes you to the Steam profile as well. And then what we can see here is I actually have the reporter and offender being the same person because I essentially reported myself because I had killed myself. So that's something you got to keep in mind may happen. In that case, you may just want to dismiss it. And another thing to note, when we're looking at this reporter thing, we did have that configuration file, and we now have a new folder called reports. And if we go in here, it's sorted by the Steam 64 ID here. So if I click on this one, we can see every single time this person has been reported. This Steam 64 ID, as we saw in Discord here, goes to Connor. And you can also look this Steam ID up by going to like Steam rep. And there's plenty of other sites as well. But if we search that in there, we can see who it goes to. And then you can see all the different reasons for reports and who reported them. So it gives my Steam ID as the reporter, and then the actual nature of the report. And if we go here, we can see all the times that I have been reported since I essentially self-reported myself there. So it just kind of keeps all your reports in here, so you can keep track of how many times someone's been getting flagged. And that's really the basics of the mod. If we look here, there's an FAQ. One important thing, like I was saying, is if you report someone, you're not going to be able to report them again unless you move 100 meters away, or if you get killed, then you can report them again. If you're using DayZ expansion, it is worth noting that the death screen report button does not show up since they use a custom menu for the escape menu / death screen. So you would just really have to use the F1 report method instead. And another thing is you can have more than one webhook, so you could put multiple of these in here. I can do a quick demonstration here. So if we go into here, you would just need to add a comma here and then put the new URL and then put the new URL in here. And then as long as the last URL doesn't have a comma, you'll be good to go. But we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to pull that back to how it was. So no comma there for a single line one. And you're pretty much good to go. And that should hopefully be a kind of easier way to handle reportings to where you can go into Discord and get logged there. So it's nice and clean like this versus, people just complaining in global chat and having a huge mess there. This just makes it a lot easier and a lot easier to handle the different reports and keep track of how many times people are getting flagged. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below on the video or join my Discord server, which is always in the video description. On that Discord, there is a support channel, which we actually have right over here, which you can see we have a bunch of different people jumping in, issues and stuff like that that I reply to and other people reply to, which can be really helpful. And I think that's about it. Have a good one.